Is this who you were watching?
Hey guys, it's RJG Gaming here, and today we're going to be covering the Sonic timeline. This is on the official website. This happened a month ago, and today we're going to be covering it. It's all in Japanese, but it's been translated through Google Translate. Sort of not reliable, but it's the best we have, and it's what we can use. So without further ado, let's get right into it. So we're going to be starting with prehistory, the destruction and rebirth by Dark Gaia and Light Gaia, which you could technically call them Gaia, which is G-A-E-A, which refers to the Greek god Gaia, or Gaia, or Mother Earth Gaia from Greek mythology. They don't have any dates, which is a little annoying. At some point, Dark Gaia, which grew over millions of years, destroyed the Earth, and Light Gaia healed it, repeating the same history. So I think at some point it happened 13 times throughout the history. Like this is what happened over millions of years or something like that. So like if you combine it with billions, it's probably happened at least 13, maybe even more than that probably. But yeah, that's pretty much the first part of the timeline. Then we've got the Ancients and the Chaos Emeralds. This is really conflicting because we assume that the 7 Chaos Emeralds came from the Ancients, which are from another planet. So that means the Chaos Emeralds that we see in most of the games are alien objects from another world. The Ancients take refuge on Earth with the Chaos Emeralds. A small number of their descendants escape to a planet called Mystic Ruins. Over the course of hundreds of thousands of years, the Ancients become the Chow. So that means Chaos is an Ancient. Chaos is like a descendant from the Ancients, which is technically confirmed, because that means Chaos could have been a Chow, so that means there's multiple perfect Chaoses. Imagine how terrifying that would be, like Chow's trying to defeat you, bro, that's crazy. Those cute things have the ability to destroy the entire planet. Now we're moving on to the next category, tens of thousands of years ago. Dark Gaia's destruction of Earth, the earliest record. So this is probably the first time of awakening. The time of awakening is what you see now. The Earth is destroyed by a super energy life form called Dark Gaia that emerged from the core of a star. This event was later recorded in the ancient document, Gaia document. I think they mean the Earth's core, Mobius's core. I don't think they mean like a literal star, like the sun or the UI Scooty or something like that. I don't think Dark Gaia came from. I don't think they came from a star, because then the dark and light balance kind of ruins the plot of that. Because then you would think that Light Gaia would come from the sun, right? Tens of thousands of years ago. So if you didn't know, the Babylonians are an alien race. Similar to the Ancients, they just had some technology that allowed them to come down to Mobius or Earth. A spaceship from far away in space goes out of control, and the race that is the ancestor of the Babylonian bandits crash lands on Earth, which should be referred to. I wish that Earth was referring to Mobius, because it just makes the Sonic universe unique, and gives them a different, like, because every other planet in fiction is called Earth, and if it was called Mobius, that would just be great. It would just be different. The engine unit of the ship that was separated at the time is shattered around the world, and later comes to be called the Ark of the Stars. The exact time is unknown. All of this is unknown, though. It has a date. It's either 4 to 3,000 years ago, because Pastor Mac fights against an ancient technology tribe of echidnas. I assume that was the Nocturnus clan, but the Dark Brotherhood is mainly considered non-canon, but that's obviously conflicted with several sources. I don't know, probably wrong, but I feel like it's just an ancient civilization that had great technology that probably almost drove the echidnas to extinction. The Echidna tribe is destroyed by the Wrath of Chaos. The Echidna tribe attacks the Temple of the Master Emerald to steal it, but their Chow champions are sacrificed, and the Echidna tribe is wiped out by the emergence of Chaos, referring to Perfect Chaos, and that's known as the Perfect Chaos Incident. And now we're moving over to 200 years ago. Black Arms preparations for the invasion of Earth. The Black Arms drop a flying temple on Griffin on Earth. I think that's the thing that Shadow fights in the game. I can't remember because I never really played this game. In an ancient civilization, combat robots called Gizoids are created, one of which is later named Emerald. This was founded by Gemerald, which we'll get to soon. One was found by Gerald, and he found Emerald somewhere. I don't know where he found it. I think the ancient civilization they're talking about is either the Nocturnus clan, which that can still be canon. It just has to have a different backstory, I believe. It could be the Babylonians. It could have been the Babylonians, I think. I don't know. The Babylonians is a really big stretch. Or it could be the Ancients, you just never know. It would be pretty disappointing if it was the Ancients though, because they're more mythical than they are about technology. They did create like the whole cyberspace, which is like cyberpunk-esque. Black Doom and the Dark Pack. Black Doom contacts Professor Gerald and offers his own DNA in exchange for guidance on how to invade Earth 50 years from now. Why would Gerald ever... I mean, I guess. That's probably his backup plan if everyone betrays him. And that's probably why GUN was so suspicious, and that's why they... Maria, bro. Shadow was then created from that DNA. Why he turned out to be a hedgehog, I don't know. The Ark Destruction Incident. The ancient combat robot, Gizoid, that were the subject of research inside the Ark go out of control, causing great damage to the Ark facilities. This is one of the reasons why GUN interferes in the Ark, which doesn't really justify them in Maria though. It's all fiction, YouTube, so don't take this video down. Damn, man. We're actually gonna get to that. That's really dark, man. That's so dark. Alright, GUN attack on the Ark. So there's multiple reasons why GUN stormed the Ark, because of the Gizoid incident, as well as the experiments that Joe Robotnik was doing with immortality, even though he was paid by the government to do all of that, as well as just... I think he was just messing around with things outside of his control, just like what Eggman would do. Maria is killed by a sudden GUN attack. Gerald, who has lost his mind due to his granddaughter's death, prepares to take revenge on the Ark system and Shadow, but he's also imprisoned and executed. Damn, that's actually kind of dark. But that's what I love about Sonic the Hedgehog. It being partially dark doesn't really matter. 10 years ago, Sonic unleashes altered history. So this is where the time travel shenanigans come into play. Sonic and Elise go back in time to blow out Solaris' flames, which are the source of the tragedy. As a result, the Solaris experiment never failed. The world was saved from the crisis, and the devastation future became a peaceful world. And what the future you would see, I think, in the rest of the timeline is the one from Sonic Rivals, the series, like with Ifrit and all that crap. However, the series of events also never happened in history. So referring to like Sonic 06 never happened. And with all the people saying that Sonic defeated Solaris is technically true, but Sonic never remembers defeating Solaris. I think he has some memory of it, but since it was erased and none of the events of Sonic 06 takes place, none of the paradoxes and all that other Solaris crap never happened, so he never remembers that. So this is in an alternate timeline. Because like this is where it happens. Solaris experiment failed. Iblis is sealed. Well, hang on. When King Soliana's Solaris experiment goes awry, he sacrifices his own life to prevent the flames of calamity from being awakened and destroying the world, sealing Iblis inside his daughter Elise. Why would you do that? Why would you do that? That means if she cries, it releases, and that's the whole reason why Mephiles was after Elise and like, well, I don't know, the whole plot of 06. And that's pretty much up to the classic era. Okay, now we're getting to like Sonic's first appearance at South Island. Sonic defeats Dr. Eggman, which is Dr. Robotnik, who attacks South Island to steal the Chaos Emeralds. But Sonic defeats Dr. Eggman, which is Dr. Robotnik, who attacks South Island to steal the Chaos Emeralds and prevents him from taking over the world. Sorry. Oh yeah, so CD is confirmed to be to take place after Sonic 1, which we pretty much already knew because of the cutscenes and in that collection of the Sonic games. You know what I'm referring to. Sonic rescues Amy. Amy, who had a fateful encounter with Sonic on Little Planet, which is also known as Miracle Planet, became embroiled in Dr. Eggman's evil deeds and was kidnapped by Metal Sonic. Sonic defeated Metal Sonic and rescued Amy, thus crushing Dr. Eggman's ambitions. So yes, the good future is canon. So obviously, I made a video like ages ago debunking that whole crappy theory about the bad future being canon in Sonic CD, which is just doesn't make any sense. Because the whole main reason people would say that was because the bad future occurs in Sonic Generations, but you gotta understand the timing is behind all of it, goofy boy. Death Egg crashes on Angel Island, onto Angel Island, not into Angel Island. That means that, I mean, it crashes into the volcano. It crashes. I don't know where it specifically crashes. I think it was on... Yeah. It crashes onto the volcano of Angel Island, I believe. Sonic and Tails work together to defeat Dr. Robotnik, who attacks West Side Island, which is separated for some reason. Like, just the word West Side Island separated. Normally I think I've seen it together. The destroyed space fortress, the Death Egg, crashes onto Angel Island. I think it's because of the translation issue. Recover the Master Emerald, prevent the Death Egg Fortress from reviving. Dr. Eggman, because his name is still Dr. Robotnik, because he never gets the idea to change his name to Eggman. That would be established later when he goes back to his past timeline. And then and Robotnik plots to revive the crashed space fortress, the Death Egg. However, Sonic, Tails, and Knuckles work together to destroy the Death Egg. Only Sonic and Tails do that. That's in the Death Egg zone. I think later, Knuckles goes on to defeat Mecha Sonic Mark II and get his Master Emerald back for the second time, thwarting Dr. Eggman's ambitions of world domination. The Master Emerald is restored and Angel Island rises into the sky again, once again. Canonically, Robotnik does take a second chance at the Master Emerald. That's when Knuckles is battling Mecha Sonic, battles Mecha Sonic and realizes that the Master Emerald's gone. Dr. Eggman, the mysterious source of the Phantom Ruby, this mysterious secret stone, the Phantom Rubies. Yeah, so I think at this point, generations would take place before the events of Mania. With that being said, there's multiple games that aren't accounted for. So there's Sonic Blast, Sonic 3D Blast, and multiple other games. So this timeline is sort of out of whack because there's a lot of games they're missing out on, which you can also include, I guess. Dr. Eggman unearths a gem with mysterious powers called the Phantom Ruby, which sends Sonic, Tails, and Knuckles into vicious worlds. After being defeated by Sonic and his friends, the Phantom Ruby leaves Dr. Eggman's hands and disappears across time and space into modern Sonic's world, Sonic Forces. It disappears a lot, like in the good ending of Sonic Mania. This takes Sonic along with him into the events of Sonic Forces, the war to take back the planet. Well, we'll get to that soon. The fateful battle for the over the Phantom Ruby. After saving the world with modern Sonic, his future counterpart, in Sonic Forces, Sonic returns to his original timeline. He chases after the Phantom Ruby and discovers Mighty and Ray, who have been captured. Sonic rescues them, but one of them is a fake. Sonic saves his friends and defeats Dr. Eggman, who has once again obtained the Phantom Ruby, and world peace is once again restored. And then, yeah, the events of Superstars takes place. At this point, Robotnik would call himself Eggman due to the events of Generations, because his modern counterpart is like, you should call yourself Eggman just because time shenanigans BS. Dr. Eggman invades the North Star Islands. There's also a prequel comic they should be referring to, because there is the Fang the Sniper comics 1 to 4. That one, the Fang the Hunter, I think. The Fang the Hunter IDW 1 to 4 goes into in depth about this and leads right into the events of Sonic Superstars. Alright, Dr. Eggman and the Bounty Hunter Fang invade the North Star Islands. They overwork and drag Trip, who lives there, lives around them, I guess. No, lives on the island. We saw that in the IDW continuity. Sonic and his friends use the Chaos Emerald's new power, Emerald Power, to thwart Dr. Eggman and his men's evil deeds. Modern Sonic era. A fierce battle with a resurrected Metal Sonic. Episode Metal would take place before this. And then Miracle Planet would be also sort of absorbed into the Death Egg Mark II, a bit, I think, after Sonic 4. Episode Metal would take place in between these games. Dr. Eggman has completely revived Metal Sonic. He makes the Death Egg Mark II rise above Little Planet, also known as Miracle Planet, and sets out to conquer the world. However, Sonic once again wins a fierce battle against Metal Sonic, destroying the Death Egg Mark II and dashing Dr. Eggman's ambitions. Sonic and his friends save the world from a threat of perfect chaos, so this is Sonic Adventure. Dr. Eggman releases Chaos, who is sealed away in the Master Emerald, and tries to use it to take over the world. However, Chaos goes out of control and evolves into perfect chaos, bringing the world into a brink of great destruction. However, thanks to Sonic and the will of many people, to the power of friendship, the Chaos Emeralds, which had lost the power, are restored with positive emotions, and Sonic transforms into Super Sonic. He stops perfect chaos and crushes Dr. Eggman's ambitions. Sonic, no way Sonic Shuffle's canon, dude. I mean, I kind of already accepted this way before the Sonic Shuffle's canon, Narrow. The Crisis of the Magical World, a different world of light and dreams. Lumina, the guardian spirit of the magical world, summons Sonic and his friends to stop Void from a conquering Magican world. Sonic and Lumina use magic cards and the Force Gems to save Magican world from the brink of collapse. I mean, that sounds pretty epic, but what, in a party mode? Shadow awakens. So this is the good stuff. Dr. Eggman awakens Shadow and tries to use him to take over the world, but Shadow uses him instead to carry out the revenge plan left by Gerald. In the final stage of revenge, Shadow regains his true memories thanks to Amy. It was a brief memory, but I wouldn't say memories. He cooperates with Sonic and saves the world at the cost of his own life. What? He doesn't die though. He doesn't die. He appears in in Shadow the Hedgehog. He's the real Shadow from, yeah, he doesn't die. He falls to Earth, but he doesn't die. He's retrieved by Eggman's robots. It's even stated. Cream and Cheese's first adventure. Sonic meets Cream and saves her with his friends. They rescue Vanilla, who was kidnapped, and defeated Dr. Eggman, who was plotting to build Eggman Land again. Again? He's really doing it again? Rebelling, a masterpiece. Metal Sonic, who has regained his sense of self, rebels and imprisons Dr. Eggman. Also, if you didn't know, the Metal Sonic you see in Sonic Adventure when you approach I think the final stage of Sonic's story, that's the Metal Sonic that appears in Sonic Heroes. And in his name issues a challenge to Sonic and his friends to conquer the world, to stop him from conquering the world, and I think that's what I was trying to refer to. Metal Sonic gathers Sonic and his friends' biodata during the battle and becomes more powerful, but is ultimately defeated by Sonic and his friends. Yeah, because plot armor. Shadow repels Black Doom's invasion of Earth. Black Doom, an alien invader, invades the Earth. Shadow, provoked by Black Doom to learn about his past, travels to the world in search of the Chaos Emeralds, sometimes at odds with Sonic and the others. After many struggles, Shadow defeats Black Doom, fulfills the wish entrusted to him, and resolves to overcome his past and move forward. Which is really heroic, but problem is, he's the original Shadow. It's even stated that he was. Emerald's growth and rampage. Dr. Eggman tries to reboot the ancient weapon Gizoid and use it to take over the world, but it doesn't work and he discards it. Sonic picks it up and names it Emerald and raises it. Dr. Eggman tries to use Emerald, who has gained powers as a combat weapon, but ends up causing him to go out of control. There is no way to stop Emerald in a safely manner, and Sonic ends up defeating him. Sorry if I'm making up some of the words, it's only because I'm trying to make up for what's not actually there. Gemerald is born. Dr. Eggman uses the power of the Chaos Emeralds to split the world into several parts. Unleashed, apparently. He repeatedly uses Zemerald, or a combat robot he developed based on Emerald, against Sonic and his friends, but was unable to win, and Zemerald eventually went berserk. Dr. Eggman was defeated. Gemerald then was retrieved and repaired and adjusted by Tails, and began living as a member of the Cream family. Oh, that's pretty nice, actually. And that's the events of Sonic Advance 3. Blaze, the princess from another world, comes to Sonic's world. Blaze comes to Sonic's world from another world in pursuit of the stolen Soul Emeralds. Through his interactions with Amy and Cream and fighting alongside Sonic, Blaze begins to trust Sonic and his friends a little. Sonic and Blaze work together to defeat Dr. Eggman and Eggman Nega, and Blaze recovers the Soul Emeralds and returns to his world. You mean her own world? Assuming Blaze's gender, dude. It's crazy. A major incident surrounding the Flame of Calamity. In order to obtain the Flame of Calamity, Dr. Eggman kidnaps Princess Elise, who has Iblis sealed away within her. Sonic rushes to rescue her, and Silver, who travels back in time to defeat Sonic in order to save the future, Shadow, who is on a mission to Dr. Eggman's base, and the mysterious being all become entangled in a major incident, each with their own intentions and desires. Pauses. Battle against the Babylon Bandits in the fastest race in the world. Dr. Eggman is hosting the Extreme World's fastest competition. Sonic and his friends complete in a heated race against the Babylon Bandits. However, the race is a trap set by Dr. Eggman to steal the treasures of the Babylon Temple. Oh yeah. Alright, this is my favorite game. Sonic and Tails lost in Blaze's world. Sonic and Tails are caught in a storm and washed up into Blaze's world. Up on Blaze's world. They are rescued by Marine, a self-proclaimed adventurer, and while investigating the islands, they are reunited with Blaze. However, before they enjoy their reunion, they're caught up in a national treasure, the Jewel Staff, being stolen right before their eyes, and they end up chasing the pirates with Blaze. Sonic and his friends defeat Dr. Eggman and Eggman Nega, who are controlling the pirates, and retrieve the Jewel Staff. Rampage on the Sky Ruins, Babylonian Garden. Jet's ancestor was capable of warp travel through gravitational conversion. That spaceship was the modern Babylon Garden, and the Ark of the Stars was its engine unit. With all 5 Arks of the Stars gathered in the Babylon Garden, floating in the sky, the output went out of control and the Babylon Garden was on the verge of turning into a black hole. Again? Damn, that's crazy. Sonic, Jet, and the others went to avert the worst case scenario. Dark Gaia is forcibly awakened by Dr. Eggman. In order to realize his ambitions, Dr. Eggman took the powers from Super Sonic, split the power into 7, and forcibly awaken Dark Gaia. So apparently Supersonic's power is so immense it can shatter the planet. Well, obviously I think it's obviously the chaos energy that allows it. Sonic, along with the Amnesiac chip, traveled to the Gaia temples to restore the depowered Chaos Emeralds and the world, regaining his powers and defeating Dark Gaia. Friendship with the alien Wisp. Dr. Eggman takes over the planets where the Wisp live and builds an amusement park, I believe. He plans to steal the powerful energy of alien Wisps who live there and activate a terrible weapon. Sonic and his friends cooperate with the Wisps, even though they can't speak the same language, and thwart Dr. Eggman's plans. Two Sonics, past and future. After his defeat at the amusement park, Dr. Eggman finds the Time Eater, who can manipulate space and time. He uses its power to summon his past self and begin to plan a rewrite of the timeline. So this is where the bad future comes in. Sonic is sucked into the Time Eater, which suddenly appears and wakes up a world of pure white. He meets a smaller version of himself, and there they work together to restore the world and his friends. Those life force and color have been sucked out and defeat the two Dr. Eggman and the Time Eater. Sorry if I'm fumbling the words a little bit, it's only because it's translation and I kind of have to picture something else that's actually there. It's because of the translation, because there's together twice in the sentence. That shouldn't be there. Fleeting moment of darkness and light is resurrected. Taking advantage of the space-time anomaly caused by the Time Eater, Black Doom is resurrected. When he reunites with Shadow in the white space, he provokes him and encourages him to awaken his powers. Meanwhile, Marie and General, who were supposed to have died a long time ago, are also resurrected. They spend a fleeting precious time together in a stopped space-time. In the end, Black Doom attempts to absorb Shadow, who has become the strongest Black Arms warrior, but Shadow's heart has not been consumed by darkness and he refuses. With Marie's wish in his heart, he defeats Black Doom. I still haven't played that game yet. Extreme Gear World Championships held in Frag Kingdom. Dr. Eggman disguises himself as the King Doc of Terek Egg Kingdom in order to embalm the biodata of Sonic and the other races into Metal Sonic. So basically just Sonic Heroes' plotline. He holds the World Grand Prix, a global competition for extreme gear, where the winner will receive a huge prize of money and treasure. The races begin, where the thoughts of each participant's team intersect. Yeah, so it doesn't really have much of a story. The 6 demons confront Sonic and his friends in Lost Hex. Dr. Eggman finds a Lost Hex, a mythical land where the Oni-chan live, which is the Zeti, and uses the Corch Shell, which is the thing that can immobilize them, which is their weak point, to enslave them, forming a powerful fighting force called the Egg-6 Demons. He begins to plan to absorb the life energy from the Earth, technically Mobius. However, when Eggman loses his Corch Shell, thanks to Sonic's efforts, the 6 demons betray Eggman and banish him, then use the device they stole to try to suck out all of the life energy from the Earth. Pause. Sonic and Dr. Eggman have no choice but to join forces and defeat the Sinister Six. King Dopa holds a car race in the Dopa Kingdom. Dr. Eggman steals the ultimate power engine and donor power of the Dopa Kingdom and plots to use it for evil purposes. However, just as he is using the engine for evil purposes, he is defeated by Sonic and his friends, and his ambitions are thwarted. Sonic and the Avatar team up to free the world that was 99% controlled by Dr. Eggman. Dr. Eggman creates an infinite army with the power of the newly acquired Phantom Ruby, and with Infinite at his side, he takes control of 99% of the world. However, Dr. Eggman and his allies are defeated by the Resistance Army, formed by Sonic's friends and the Avatar, who have joined it. Restore peace to the world. A mysterious girl holds Knuckles captive in cyberspace. So this is obviously like the animation by Tyson Hesse, I think. I haven't watched it. While investigating the ancient ruins he discovered on Angel Island, Knuckles is sent to Ares Island. Just as Knuckles thinks that Dr. Eggman is behind it, a mysterious girl appears and traps him in cyberspace. Sonic and Surge protect the world from the end. Dr. Eggman attempts to use the technology of the Ancients of Starfall Island, connect to the network, causing a series of incidents. Sage, involved by accessing the Ancients' technology, began to interfere with Sonic in order to protect Dr. Eggman, who was trapped in cyberspace. In the process, Sage noticed that the unknown potential of Sonic, whose answers could not be found through calculations, and suggested that to Dr. Eggman that they fight the true enemy. Together they defeated the Ant and saved the world. 200 years later, the future world before the change. The world has been devastated by Iblis. Sonic and Blaze are fighting an endless battle against Iblis, who keeps resurrecting. With the guidance of Mephiles, a mysterious figure who suddenly appears, the two travel back in time to the era of which Sonic and his friends live. to kill the person who was said to be the Iblis trigger and the cause of his devastation. Altered future world. This is what appears in Sonic Rivals. Due to Sonic and Elise's changes to history, the calamity of fire no longer exists, and the disaster itself has not occurred, leaving the world in a state of peace. And that's pretty much the end of the timeline. That is everything right here, dude. That's literally everything. And that's pretty much it, guys. If you enjoyed this, it's a pretty long video, and I think I'll cut it down a little bit. It'll probably be like 35 minutes or something like that. But I enjoy going through this and just having my own opinions on this timeline. And yeah, we might do a little bit more if you guys want me to do just go through this again. But that's pretty much it, guys. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time on Jamis. Bye bye.